Hello and welcome to this Photoshop video where we'll take a look at how we can improve the eyes and the teeth in an image. So I apologize to this person for taking your image here and using it to show you a couple techniques. So what I'm going to do first is we'll work on the eyes, and we'll do a couple things with the eyes here. One is we'll sort of increase the contrast so that the eyes pop a little bit, and we'll also make the whites of the eye a little bit brighter. So let's first just make the eye a bit more contrast, a bit more color there. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this layer. So I'm just going to take this layer and make a copy of it. So I've got a layer on top. And then I'm going to set this layer here to soft light. And what you'll notice there is it just gives a little bit more color to the whole image. In fact, the whole image looks a little bit better, but we'll just focus on the light of the eyes here. And then we will add a mask. Now, that mask is white at the moment. It's not masking anything. With the black here, and make sure the mask is selected, if I press Alt Backspace, that will fill, Control Backspace, maybe? There we go. Control Backspace, sorry, will fill this mask with our background color, which was black here. And so now it has no effect. So basically, we're masking everything, right? If I turn it on or off, there's nothing there. What I'll do is just zoom in a little bit and grab my brush, making sure that I've got the white and on the mask so it will reveal, and just paint over the pupils and the iris here. So it's a subtle effect, but what's going to happen is that color, and you can kind of see it there, is richer. Okay. Like I said, it's not all that much, but just enough that the eyes there, and you can sort of see it, are a little bit on the on the brighter side, right? They give you a little bit more color to them. So what we'll do next is get these whites of the eye a little bit whiter. So I'm just going to simply select them, and in this case I'd probably use my quick selection tool and just come in and do a reasonable selection here. And we're going to actually use the same technique for the teeth as well. So 2-for-1 deal here. Okay, but we'll do the eyes separately. So I'm simply going to select this. And now since we've made a selection, when we go to our adjustment layers here, then we can choose our friend, the curves here. Now, we're going to do a little bit different. We're not going to press Option here. We're going to grab this little guy here. And this one lets us sort of pick a color. And you can kind of see it as I move it across that it changes the position. And then we're just going to either be able to add to it or reduce it. And you can see I can go really bright. Okay, so let's just try to find something that looks a little bit more reasonable. I might want to improve my selection after too, right? A little bit here and there. But that gives you the idea. So again, if we went, a little trick here, if you want to see the original image, if you hold Alt down and click the bottom one, it actually turns everything off but that. So you can see there the eyes have a lot more power, right? A lot more pop. If you're finding it a little bit too much, always feel free to grab your opacity and just sort of, make that a little bit more subtle. Okay. The one thing you don't want to do is sort of overdo it, right? So I think that's an improvement there. Good. Okay. Now that we've got that improved, let's take a look at the teeth. And again, we're definitely sort of yellowish here. It's not always the fault of the person, right? It's age to a certain extent, but it's also the lighting and so on. So we can improve that here. Again, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the teeth. I'm going to make sure I'm on that bottom layer. I'm going to, although I guess I need to be on, well, I'm just trying to think here. I guess I could be on this layer here. I'm just going to select teeth. Actually, I should be on the bottom layer. We've masked all that out. So again, try to get a reasonable selection on the teeth. I'm not spending too much time, but that looks pretty good. Make sure we're on this bottom layer. And then we're going to add another adjustment and the same thing, the curves adjustment. And again, we're going to take that tool here and then just pick a white spot, and then we can drag, whoops, there we go. Make sure you're on that curve layer. For some reason it was doing that selection there. Just make sure you're on this. It should do it automatically, but on that curves selecting this, you should be able to just select, and it does that dropper. And then there's the hand tool, and we can pull it up, make it really white. Come on. I think this computer's just slow here. There we go. Okay, so you can make them really white. You can only go so far, but you can make them really white, or we just want to improve them a bit. So I would say something close to that is looking reasonably well. So let's again hold the Alt key down, and you can select the bottom picture. That gets rid of everything, and there it is. And what I would check is, are my my mask okay? If my mask's a little bit off, like I know it's just down here, making sure that I go back to my paintbrush. It's white, just a little bit here. I guess that's the gum really. So maybe it was okay. It's this teeth. Maybe these guys back here, although I don't think they're changing too much, just because they were off on the color there. If I sort of mess up, it's going to be black. That. Good. And then I would just, again, take a look at maybe playing with the opacity on that layer. If it's too much, right, we don't want to overdo it. But then again, we want to make sure it's an improvement. So just from there to there. So definitely the eyes are popping, and the teeth are a lot cleaner looking in terms of the brightness. Can't fix everything, but for such a close-up, I think we've done a good job there. Right. Hope that helps improve your portraits.